is Block 7, The Greatest Generation, Part 1, FDR's Foreign Policy, with the section starting the London Conference. When FDR comes to power in early 1933, there is a big to-do about this conference that is going to be held in London by all the industrialized powers of the world. And this conference was supposed to come up with ways to actively fight the Depression. Roosevelt comes to office. He makes it clear in his campaign that he's going to participate in this London conference. All of the finance ministers of Britain and France and Italy and all of them, all of the industrialized countries in the world are meeting, and all the less industrialized countries in the world are meeting also to see if they can come up with ways to fight the Depression. Well, Roosevelt really pisses the world off. He angers the world off by his double dealing at this conference. He said he was participating, and then, like the day before it started, Roosevelt pretty much pulled the American delegation out and said that the United States we would observe what was happening at the conference, but we would not participate. And the reason for Roosevelt's switch was the fact that the finance ministers at this London conference wanted to launch a coordinated effort to stabilize currency, stabilize rates of exchange between countries. That we would their goal was to take the British pound, the French franc, the Italian lira, the German mark, the American dollar, and all kind of establish specific rates of exchange. This is how many pounds are in a dollar, this is how many francs are in a lira, etc., etc. Roosevelt did not want this to happen. Roosevelt, if you might hopefully remember from last block, Roosevelt was going to take the United States off the gold standard and inflate the American currency in an attempt to fight the Depression, and he did not want to be held down by agreed rates of exchange with all the other European countries. He was afraid that the American dollar would be tied to other currencies, and he would not be able to implement his gold standard or his removal of the gold standard inflationary policies in the United States. Without the United States, any degree of international cooperation is not going to be successful. In 1933, the United States had the largest economy in the world by far, and if the United States was not going to participate in these economic attempts to have an international sense of fighting the Depression, the chance of any international action to fight it would be slim to none. And as it turned out, that there was no international action really to fight the Depression. All the different countries fought the Depression differently, some more successful than others. The United States less successful than most. It did have a negative effect, though, that in the absence of international cooperation, countries like Germany and Italy, with their with their dictators, were kind of left out. They were not tied into the rest of the world. They were left out on their own, and believe me, Mussolini and Hitler had their own theories of how to fight the Depression, and they would not be bound to the democracies to do that.